We begin with breaking news on Good Night LA. Skyfox live over this large fire in El Segundo tonight. This is at the Chevron refinery, really close to LAX. While the flames are significant, they have really calmed down since this all broke out. That was just after 9:30 tonight when firefighters first got word of this emergency. We have video of things we're looking just about an hour ago. So this is a live picture we're seeing from Skyfox. And then that's the smaller picture. And then an hour ago, that's the view from the helicopter above. So it was worse off about an hour ago. It doesn't mean that things are necessarily calm now. This is a massive refinery that's been in El Segundo since 1911, so it has a more than 100-year history. It has its own fire department. In fact, I was there on this property less than a month ago. I did an exclusive tour. We're going to have more about that in just a moment. But first, let's get to the ground. That's where we have our Matthew Seedorf. He just arrived on location. What can you tell us? Injuries? What do we know?
Yeah, Mara, we're still waiting for confirmation on possible injuries at this point. We haven't heard anything one way or the other. The flames really had calmed down, I'd say, until about 2 minutes ago. And then we saw the fire kick back up again. I'll see Joe can zoom in there. We're right across the street. We're in a very residential area. A lot of these homeowners, we spoke with one that lives just 4 homes down. She thought it sounded like an explosion, like a bomb went off. She looked out her window and saw just this red glow. And then quickly they grabbed all of their belongings and ran from the house as the flames were growing. Again, though, you can see that ball of fire erupting into the sky. It really just picked up again just a couple of minutes ago. So far, there's no evacuations underway in the El Segundo area, but they are monitoring the air quality. Obviously, that is a lot of people's concern tonight. Fortunately, it's not super windy, so it doesn't seem like there's much concern of it spreading at this point. That is good news. But again, a lot of people watching the air quality very closely. We did speak with some residents. Here's what they had to say.
It felt like an earthquake, and then I saw red flash through our blinds onto the side of the house facing the refinery. We have 2 windows there. I'm like, that's the refinery. And then I heard the hiss that is usually the safety flare, but it was way more intense than usual. So I went and got her up. We booked it out the door, and there was just nothing but a ball of fire that looked like it could cross the street and come this way towards all the houses on this side.
Well, yeah, I'm concerned about like air quality now. You know, this is like a lot of toxic chemicals we're inhaling, obviously by choice, but it's still really not good for us, so that's a big concern.
So a lot of people watching and thinking about that air quality very closely, and you can see that is the main fire taking place right there, erupting up in the sky. It is smaller than it was when it first ignited, and if Joe, I don't know if you can kind of zoom to the left. It looks like there possibly is some flaring taking place. You can see some more fire and some smoke in that direction. But the main source of fire is right on the end of the street there. You can see the flames erupting. Again, we're not aware of any injuries to report tonight, and a lot of people are monitoring the air quality very closely. We do know that workers are there 24/7, so there were workers there when this happened. So hopefully everyone's okay. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Yeah, so you talked to the residents. You mentioned that you're right next to a residential area. Having just been there, I know exactly what it looks like. I also learned from Chevron itself that within about a 1.5 mile radius there, about 50,000 people live right there. They call this home. So the impact is great. All of these people, I'm sure if they were home, they felt this, they heard it. It felt like an earthquake, as you just heard from that woman you interviewed, to the point that Chevron has its very own fire department. It is staffed 24/7, 365 days a week. They're on 12-hour shifts, 24 full-time firefighters. But we do know, Matthew, that this is a mutual aid event. So they called other local firefighters to help, correct?
Yeah, fire departments from all across the South Bay are here trying to help with the fire suppression efforts. You were talking about the residential area and just how residential it is, and I don't know if Joe can show you around the neighborhood here, but there's a lot of homes. You can see that the police have this street blocked off for traffic, but there are even some people out here taking it all in and just trying to get here over PCH and Rosecrans. It's blocked off currently, but along PCH, kind of by where Topgolf is, there's tons of people just lined along PCH watching this all unfold. We saw some reports on social media that people that were at Topgolf heard the boom and thought a plane crashed. Obviously, this is very close to LAX, so you can imagine just what was going through everyone's mind as this was unfolding this evening.
Yeah, you think about the residents of Hermosa Beach and Manhattan Beach, and what you mentioned, Topgolf. We do have somebody who was there at Topgolf to join us now. So Matthew, stand by. We'll check back in with you. But in the meantime, joining us on the phone is Celissa Sanchez. You were actually there at Topgolf when this happened. What did you hear? What did that feel like?
Yeah, so me and the kids had just picked up my husband from the airport and came to have dinner and play at Topgolf. We were supposed to be gone, actually, by the time it happened, but we extended another 30 minutes, and around 9:30, I had finished my turn, and I went back to the table when I heard the explosion and felt it, and I seen the window light up bright red, even with the shades down, and I tried to get my husband's attention when the employee rolled up the window, and we could feel the rumbling. It did feel almost like an earthquake as well. You could just see this huge explosion in the window and the flames right in front of like our eyes. It was it's right across Topgolf. It was so close. Our initial thought was an airplane because we just came from the airport, but the other female employee had assured us that it was the refinery, and we just asked to close off our tab, and we're rushing to the exit. When we got inside the lobby, everyone was coming down the stairs from the top floors. We were lucky to be at the bottom floor with the kids, but when we stepped outside, you could hear the gas and the flames. It was like roaring really loud. It was really surreal.
Oh my goodness, how scary
all the cars
for the family.
leaving.
Yeah,
everyone was leaving in panic. It was so close.
It sounds like, well, first and foremost, you, the family, everyone's okay?
Yes, we're all okay. But with having littles, you don't know how close.
Sure.
The explosion, when it first happened, was gigantic. It was so huge. No one really understood what was going on, and, everyone's initial thought was just to leave, and it was kind of hard getting out of the parking lot with so many people trying to leave that area.
Yeah. Well, thank you for, the description there. It helps paint a picture. It sounds like pretty much business was going to be closed for Topgolf as sort of a victim of this fire then thereafter. Were you able to get home safely?
Yes, yeah. We were able to exit the parking lot. It felt like forever, but it was probably 5 or 10 minutes, just all the cars lined up trying to exit. And as soon as we kind of passed the fire, it kind of felt like a big relief that we were just on our way home. Just definitely something that we'd never seen up close, in real life versus, watching over the TV, a big fire. Seeing something like that, it was, bigger than you could imagine.
I guess so. My goodness. Well, we appreciate you jumping on the line this late hour. Celissa Sanchez, who was at Topgolf in El Segundo when this fire broke out at the Chevron refinery there. Thank you so much. Glad you're safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, as mentioned, I was at this refinery just a few weeks ago. My report here, you're seeing some of the images of the refinery daytime. My report aired on Monday, September the 15th. And, this was an exclusive tour. We learned all about the fuel making process. We can tell you that this refinery supplies over 40% of Southern California's jet fuel and 20% of its gasoline. I recall that it pumps out 12 million gallons of fuels every single day. That's enough to fuel the tanks of 1 million cars every single day. So it's just massive. It's a city within a city. It houses 1,000. It employs 1,000 full-time Chevron employees on any given day, though. In addition to the 1,000 employees, there are 1,000 contracted workers as well. It's been here since 1911. In fact, it is why El Segundo, the city of El Segundo, is named El Segundo, because it was the second refinery established in the state of California. So that's a little bit of the history here. Again, it does have its own fire department, staffed 24/7. These are live pictures. So while it was calmer, not so much anymore. I mean, it pumps out the jet fuel, the diesel, and the gasoline every day. Those are the three types that it makes. Let's check in, because air quality is a massive concern, of course, as we heard from the residents there. Let's check in with our meteorologist, Star Harvey, now for more on that.
Yes, checking in on the El Segundo fire right now at the refinery. I want to bring you in to show you exactly where that's happening in, but also our smoke forecast is indicating that we do have these onshore winds. So wherever this smoke is blowing, we are going to see it impacting our interior section. So areas to the east or north, as well as the south of the El Segundo area. Now, right now, unfortunately, our air quality sensors have not yet picked up on all of the smoke that is currently moving across the area. But I can give you the situation out there. Temperatures are at about 66 degrees. The winds are going to play a really big part in how this smoke is actually going to move where this fire is situated. We do have very calm winds, and the winds are pushing out of the west. So again, with them pushing out of the west and being onshore, this is going to move that smoke into our interior section. So any of the surrounding areas of the El Segundo area, rather than it pushing offshore. Again, temperatures not too bad out there. Our temperatures moving overnight are going to continue to fall. And then, of course, moving into tomorrow, we are expecting to have a cooler day. I do also want to indicate that if this fire is not under control for tonight, we do have some of this moisture that is going to be moving through. It is going to be very light. We are talking some drizzle moving through, and with that drizzle, hopefully they are able to get it contained, but if not, that should move through and help. Again, the winds are very calm in the area, moving at about 4 miles per hour. And so with that, we are going to see it impact those interior sections. So areas, again, to the east of the fire, but also to the north as well as the south. Marla.
All right, Star, thanks. Here's another live look at the refinery fire at the Chevron refinery in El Segundo. Massive plumes of smoke and flames continue to burn. This has been underway for almost 2 hours now. First reported about 9:35 tonight. Matthew Seedorf is on the ground. We have Skyfox up above. We will have more when Good Night LA continues.